How's it, guys? It's Linton here from Greenbox Markets. So yeah, as the title of this video says, I'm so tempted to preempt this position and to break the rules a little bit. But let's run through the setup and see why that is the case. As we can see here on the left with the Euro New Zealand dollar, we had this nice impulse move which took place. And since then, we've had this corrective structure which formed, and it formed in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave format, possibly only a 3-wave format down to the bottom here. That was sort of a little bit of a complicated move over there, but let's call it a 5-wave format, and it broke out on the 5th wave. So as all of you know, what we then do is we wait for the formation of a flag in order to get entry into the trade, because what we are expecting is the second move to the upside. So the initial impulse being here, this being the corrective structure, and we're expecting the third impulse to take place. So let's go down to a smaller time frame and have a look at where I initially gained entry into this position. So if I go down to the 4-hour, let's just see whether it's clear over here. Or maybe even the daily will show us. Okay, so yeah, on the exit or on the break of this original structure here, which was on the weekly time frame, we had quite a strong initial run. And what often happens is guys get into trades and sometimes are lucky and it works out. Other times the price reverses and finds their stop loss. And the reason for that is that the market moves in waves, and it moves aggressively sometimes and sometimes not. So when you see impulses, you will see a correction. And so our strategy is based on the break of the structure and then waiting for the correction of that impulse from the break. So here was the initial impulse that took place, and this being the corrective structure or the flag where we actually gained entry into this position. So my first long entry when I got into this was on the break of this smaller flag over here. In fact, I think we may actually have entered at the bottom of the flag, if I remember correctly. Price moved in our favor, and actually I'm going to leave that line there. Price moved in our favor, and we were very, very happy with the position. But before we actually moved our stops into a really, really positive position, we had a spike back here, and I think our stop got taken out just about there somewhere. So we haven't been in this trade from that point where our stop got taken out. But I am quite interested in getting back into it, especially after this nice big pullback over here. So what we saw, let me just show you, is this 1, 2, 3 wave completion. Okay, and if you were to draw trend lines on it, you would see that quite clearly. 1, 2, 3 waves completed. So we are waiting for an entry on this trade. And what would the setup be? So here would be the first wave down. So obviously we're expecting the second wave at some point to start the wave up, because on the bigger picture what I'm expecting to see is a 1, 2, 3 wave to give us a corrective structure, and then a break of that to the upside, which will give really, really, really nice targets to the upside. So that is what I'm expecting to see. Where do we get entry? Where do we get into this trade? And that's usually based on a 1-hour flag break. As you know, that is what we wait for. So I would essentially wait for the price to do that, then to form a flag, and then to go. Alright, so on the break of that little flag there, that would be our entry. This trade is a little bit different, and the reason for that is because across the board on all the New Zealand dollar currency pairs, it seems as though we are poised in a position where we are expecting New Zealand dollar weakness. I'm actually just going to flick across to the New Zealand dollar chart quickly for you. Sorry, it's back this way. Just want to show it to you very quickly. So as you can see, the New Zealand dollar chart is actually pulling off. New Zealand dollar is weakening at this point in time. And on the daily structure, 1, 2, 3, 4 waves to the top of that structure. And I did say that we could see this pull off, and I'm expecting to see this pull off, which means that New Zealand dollar weakness should see the Euro New Zealand dollar run quite nicely. If we go down to the 1-hour time frame, Actually, let's go to the 4-hour first. If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, this big pullback that's happened from the top, if we put a trend line across there, look what's busy happening right now as we speak. So this trend line is busy breaking, and that to me is a sign that we could very well be seeing the turn and the start of the second wave on this structure over here. So I'm very, very tempted to get into this position, and mainly because of this. Tonight's news at 11 o'clock South African time, which is GMT +2, we should see some fireworks with the New Zealand dollar. And the way everything is poised at this moment, with the way the technicals look, and this is just based on technicals, I'm not going into the fundamentals at this point in time. This is just based on technicals. Should we see a weak New Zealand dollar come out of this interest rate decision this evening, we could definitely see a very, very big move over here. And that is why I'm tempted to get into this position already. Firstly, this trend line has broken. Secondly, on the bigger structure, I am expecting to see a 1, 2, 3 wave completion. And if we have a look at how many pips more or less that would be, we're looking at from entry over here up to more or less where we would expect it to go, plus minus 600 pips. And on the Euro New Zealand dollar, we know that 600 pips is worth quite a bit of money. So at the end of the day, we will get this formation, or I'm expecting to get this formation, and we would like to trade it all the way up to the top of the second wave and then wait for an entry to get the third wave down before looking for the big upside trades based on the weekly chart. Let's just show you that quickly. So on the weekly chart, we could be seeing really, really big moves, as I showed you earlier. This initial impulse move over here, this being the corrective structure, and then this being the third impulse move, or second impulse move, sorry, that we are expecting to see. Size-wise, I don't know. Let's have a look quickly. Let's see how many pips that would work out to be. So from the bottom to the top of that impulse was, 4,600 odd pips. So we could expect 4,600 odd pips in this region over here, so where the cursor is currently. So we could see a move right up to that level. So on a break of, this trend line, and on a break of the structure which we are expecting to form over here in a 1, 2, 3 wave format. So if we get that set up, I'm looking for reasons to enter the long over here and to trade it all the way up to the top here, progressively moving my stop loss further and further into profit as the price moves in my favor. So guys, yeah, I'm very, very tempted to take this trade. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to, or I shouldn't, and that is because of the news coming out tonight. If it does come out and it's New Zealand dollar positive, that will completely change the setup, and we may get a deeper pullback before we see the formation form over here. So yeah, interesting setup, looking really, really nice, and I'm tempted, but I think I'm going to wait for the news to pass and then wait and see what setups take place. I hope that helps you a little bit with your setups on this pair, to see that we are looking for long-term upside here. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, as well as feel comfortable or ask questions in the comment section below. There's probably a lot of people that want to ask questions, but nobody is, because they feel it might not be the right question, or feeling a bit silly to ask a question. Guys, please feel free to ask questions in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this video. Have a great evening. Take care. Cheers.